You're ready to grow your business, and Google Ads is the perfect fit. So you start doing some searching to find the right agency. You just got off the phone with a digital marketing agency, and they promised you guaranteed results and 200% growth. Sounds amazing, right? Or maybe it's the typical overpromise, under-deliver sales pitch. But how do you actually know who to hire for your company when it comes to Google Ads? There are hundreds of incredible Google Ads practitioners out there, but they often get overshadowed by aggressive, shady tactics that leave local businesses with broken promises and wasted ad dollars. So today we're going to talk about four massive red flags you need to watch out for before you sign any contract with a digital marketing agency. I'm Jack Hepp. I've spent more than 10 years working with local businesses to get the most out of Google Ads. And today on Jack of All Ads, let's go into how to find the right agency for your business. All right. So red flag number one is account ownership. This is my biggest non-negotiable when it comes to finding an agency for your Google Ads. You need to own your Google Ads account. I've seen business after business get burned by an agency who created the account and then not share access with the client. Not only does that mean you don't get clear insights into what's happening in your account, but it means that if you ever leave, you're starting from scratch. If the other agency owns the account, then they own the data inside of it. If you decide to leave or make a change for whatever reason, they take all those learnings, they take all that account history with them. That means you have to start from zero and build an account up from scratch again. That's a lot of data that you spend a lot of money building. And those are things that can help you perform better in the future. So you need to own the accounts and you need to own the data inside of it. You should own your Google Ads account. You should own your Google business profile. You should own any and all accounts that are directly related to your business. Now, if the agency has some sort of third-party software they use or something like that, then maybe they own that and that has nothing to do with you. That's fine. But when it comes to your Google Ads account, when it comes to accounts that actually represent your business, you need to be the owner. You invite them to come in as a manager so that you have control over the account. Like I said, this is my non-negotiable. You either own the account or you need to find a new marketing partner. Red flag number two is non-transparent pricing. You'll see guaranteed impressions, fixed CPMs, all sorts of different pricing models that don't actually tell you how much it costs to run ads. This is really common in traditional media providers such as newspapers, TV, radio stations. They all offer digital ads, right? But they don't give you an upfront management fee. Instead, they say, you're going to spend $1,000 and you get 10,000 impressions. That sounds great, right? Like you know how many impressions you get, you know how much you're spending. The thing is, they're not telling you what the markup is to run those ads for you. I've seen a lot of proposals. I've seen these businesses and what it looks like behind the scenes. They sometimes feature markups of 50% or more, 30, 40. That means that they're taking a lot of your money and it's not actually spending ads. So you're not spending $1,000 on ads. In fact, on that $1,000, you might only be spending $500 on ads or even less because the other $500 is just going to the agency to manage it. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is it's not transparent. They don't tell you how much it actually costs to run your ads. The other problem with a lot of these kinds of offers is it's really easy for them to buy millions of impressions on really low quality websites and mobile apps. They have to get you those impressions they guaranteed, right? They need to get you 10,000. But higher quality impressions cost more than lower quality ones. So if they're running short, they're going to serve them wherever they can serve them. And that doesn't mean that it's good for your business. So these kind of guarantees, any kind of non-transparent pricing are really something that should get a red flag waving for you, and you need to be looking. So what kind of pricing model should you be looking for? There's not a perfect pricing model out there. Everybody does it a little bit differently. But the biggest thing is that transparency is where it should start. Agencies may price their businesses on a percentage of ad spend or a fixed retainer or hourly. None of that really is good, bad, or indifferent. There's benefits and downsides to all of them. But the most important thing is you know how much the agency is charging. In a percentage of spend model, you know what percent of your ad spend they're charging to run the campaigns. Fixed retainer, same thing. You know what they're charging. That's the most important piece, is that you actually have transparency into what's happening. Then you can decide how the pricing model fits in, and you can do research into the different pricing models online and see what the benefits and drawbacks are of each one. But as long as you know what the actual costs are and you know how it's working, then you can decide whether or not that actually makes sense for your business. If an agency can't tell you what it costs to run ads, that should be a red flag, and you probably need to look for a new partner. Red flag number three, who's actually managing your account? Often in sales calls, you meet the senior strategist or the business owner or some other sort of senior representative of the account. They're going to say all the right things and everything sounds great and you're ready to roll. But is that person actually who's managing your account? Or is it being sent off to some sort of third party that has limited quality controls or someone with a lack of experience? Now, there's nothing wrong with junior account managers managing an account. We all started out as a junior employee. There's nothing wrong with work being outsourced to freelancers or in some other way. Again, the problem comes down to whether or not there's transparency and how the business handles these sorts of things. There are plenty of businesses out there that will sell account after account after account, outsource it to a third party, and then that third party is managing 20, 30, 40 campaigns per client. No one can manage accounts efficiently that way. There's too many accounts, there's not enough people to handle them. And so you lose oversight, you lose quality control. And that's the problem in this kind of thing. There's nothing wrong with the different ways that businesses handle who manages their accounts. The problem comes when things are outsourced and they start to lose quality control. So when you're talking to agencies, you should know who the daily point of contact is. Do they actually get in the account and can they actually answer questions for you? Who's actually managing it? If it's being outsourced or there's junior employees working on it, that's fine. But is there some sort of senior person involved in the account as well so that they can help troubleshoot problems, make sure that things are performing the way that they should be? Now, again, some of this gets fixed as long as you own the account, and that makes it much harder for businesses to outsource this kind of stuff in a way that's not transparent and that you don't know what's going on. But these are really important questions that you should know the answer to. And they're things that I see businesses get burned on all the time. Red flag number 4, a lack of reporting and conversion tracking. Now, this is again something that I see all the time in local business accounts. They get a report and it's one page, it's got a few random numbers, some charts, it looks pretty, but it doesn't really tell you anything. There's no conversion tracking. They can't tell you what actually happened in the account. You don't know if you got good quality leads from the campaign. You don't know if people called your business. You don't know if things are actually working. Your digital marketing partner should be working to set up conversion tracking with your input. That means that they're building conversions that actually match your business goals and provide good data, not only so that they can make the accounts successful, but so that you know that they're working for your business. One of the biggest benefits of digital marketing is that we're able to attribute the results of our campaigns to the campaigns themselves. Traditional marketing, you don't know if somebody saw your radio ad and then called you later on. There's not a reliable way to do that. Digital marketing offers tons of ways to track that sort of data so that you know how well things are working. And that's the most important thing with a good digital marketing partner is they're going to actually build those conversion tracking sources so that you know that it's working. Then beyond that, they should be providing some kind of reporting that's actually valuable to your business. Now, everybody has a different way of doing this. There's not necessarily a right or wrong way to do it, but good reporting should be more than just numbers and charts on a sheet that most people can't even decipher if they wanted to. They glance over it, throw it in the trash or delete it, and they're off to the next thing. A good agency is going to provide you a report that has insights, ideas, tests, information from the account manager that says, hey, these are the things that we're seeing. Here's some areas I think we can continue to work on stuff. This is how we can get better. It should give you an inside look into what that company is doing while managing your account. And then what sort of things that they think should be happening next. Good reporting should give you actual insights that make sense, whether you're a digital marketing expert or not. A good report will have information that makes sense to everybody. And that should be a big piece of the right partner when you're searching for a digital marketing agency. All right. So you're going to vet your next digital marketing agency. These are the 3 questions that you need to keep in mind. How do you handle account ownership? How does your pricing work? And are there any fees or markups I should know about? Who's managing these accounts on a day-to-day basis? Take your time and ask these questions. The best Google Ads managers aren't going to be afraid of the transparency. They're going to be happy to give you insights into this information and share as much information as they can with you about how all of these things work. It's really important that you find an agency that matches your business and actually drives the results that you need. There's too many people out there who are happy to sell accounts and not actually get results for people when it comes down to it. Local businesses are different, and that means you need different advice to be successful. And that's where I come in. Let's make sure your business is getting the advice that's actually built for it. So, what's your biggest Google Ads question? Let me know in the comments or shoot me a message, and I can cover it on a future episode of Jack of All Ads. I'm Jack Kep, and thanks for tuning in to Jack of All Ads. We'll see you next week.